welcome back to QueenTitiLoves. Today is actually Saturday, and I am getting prepared to go out for the DivinedPurpose Seniors Prom. Is today. So, very exciting day. A lot of work to get here. I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know how I did it when I was a senior. I'm telling you, there's a lot on seniors these days. It's way too much. Then again, it's a lot on the village too. But let's get into it for today. So, the topic for today is going to be, what do you think? Prioritizing. So, the reason why it's going to be on prioritizing, and I think that some adults could take some tips here too, it is because what people don't understand about prioritizing, and I'm not really feeling wearing makeup today, just a little bit so that I don't look like red in here. What people don't really get about prioritizing and communication is that when you don't prioritize and when you don't communicate, those things that happen after, yeah, they don't just impact you. Life is not about you, little grasshopper. It's about everybody. It's a whole domino effect, right? So let me give you an example. I'll take my vitamin. Drink my Red Bull. Hopefully it'll give me wings. Wait, I ain't get none. But I do have a halo above my head because I do all things great. Yes, that's me patting myself on the back. You should try it sometimes. Okay, so for real, this is what happens, right? So let me actually tell you what happened. A real true story. So what happened was there was at the beginning of the year, program year, I give a calendar to the students. I give one to parents. Hold on. Oh, I give a calendar to students and I give one to parents and then my board. So some things I actually ask, like, is this date and time going to work? Should we do it in this order? And then some things, my business, I say this will happen. Generally, they don't listen to me. However, I am organized in that way, right? So you put all these things on the calendar and then you make sure that everybody has the information as far ahead as you can. That's really important because once you have something, let me move my hair back, on the calendar, then this is what happens, right? Or this is what should happen, okay? This is the best practice out of respect. This is what should happen. If I have something on my calendar, like I do, for example, for today, if somebody asks me to do something, I'm going to look at my calendar and see what I already have there, right? If there are things that I have committed to, such as divine purpose, those things won't get moved. Thing one and thing two is outside, just so we're aware. Those things will not get moved because they include other people. They include people that have aligned their calendars with mine, right? They put this on their calendar as well, and so they could have been offered the opportunity to do something different, and they did not because of what we already have on the calendar. That's what you should do. Let me tell you what most people do. Down to these ungrateful kids, but they get it from these ungrateful adults. They will see something on their calendar, and yes, I said ungrateful because it is, and a little bit disrespectful if you don't communicate, right? They will look at their calendar and see what's there to see if it's more important than what they would rather do. When was that okay? That is inappropriate. And let me tell you why. Again, there's a domino effect, right? So for each reaction, there's each action, there's a reaction. For each decision, there is sometimes a consequence. What happened was we had something on the calendar for the business, and there was one person, I would not say if it was me or if it was somebody else, because just follow with the story. Don't blame people. We had it on the calendar, the event, right? This person, one person, had something else to do, and so they changed the appointment time of a corresponding thing that we had for the nonprofit, right? In changing this corresponding thing, whenever you change something for my organization, it includes the board of directors, it includes whatever volunteer we have, whatever vendor we're working with, the mentor and the mentee, and other people that are in the program, right? Because not everything is about you. So this particular thing changed, and the time changed, right? So in changing this thing, no communication was given to anyone else. It was only given to the vendor. In giving the information only to the vendor, I think the vendor and one other person, it caused one person to drive to the original appointment. It caused the event that was planned for that day to include everybody to then be canceled, because we are all inclusive, right? We move as a family. If one person can't make it, depending on that person, usually not a board member, we will not move forward with that event, because here's what we don't want. We don't want some people to get the experience and some not to get the experience. So if we can, we move as a family, and we will consider everyone if we can and reschedule, right? It caused that whole domino effect. I'm not done. Even with that, because this one appointment, the time was changed, it now threw off a subsequent 4 appointments. Because if you move one thing, it moves something else somewhere, right? Yup. Especially when you don't communicate. People will be hustling and bustling, trying to figure out and make it work and communicate with everyone. And as for me and my board, everybody, their calendar looks like a Tetris board. It's really, it's busy. Even the people in the program, you know, the girls, their schedules are busy. So if something moves, it's not just like a, oh, it's no big deal. Or it's not like me as in the owner of my nonprofit. And I say the owner because regardless to what government documents say about, oh, it belongs to the community or whatever, the community don't write these checks or do all this hard work. For the community that does, good looking out. For the ones that don't, just falls on me. Okay? Okay? So, what that did was created a whole domino effect, right? Now, all of these things need to now move, be canceled. There's money lost. Somebody ended up at the original appointment, which no longer existed because they were not communicated with. When you prioritize your life, you have to be considerate of others' lives, especially when what you do impacts a group, right? And generally, your life, what you do does impact a group. For example, if I am going to call out from work in my current role, not in like a call center, but even in a call center is very expensive. And the reason why I gave call center as an example is because there's so many people, right? You would think that, oh, if I call off, it's no big deal. It's hundreds of other people there. It does matter. Financially, it matters. But on a smaller scale, so you can understand, let's just say to the students, because we can follow along with them, right? Grown-ups, we can follow along with them. Let's just say it's midterms and your teacher just doesn't come to class, right? Nobody knows where the assignments are. Nobody is prepared to just come in and take over this class, right? This teacher is the one who is connected with her students, right? Let's just say only the students. So here's the things that could happen. What if there's somebody who needs that midterm grade to go to prom this weekend? Because if your grades are not right, in some schools you can't go, right? That teacher made that promise with that student though, and didn't tell anybody else. That was between them, right? So there was going to be a special circumstance for this student that teacher was going to help them with, okay? This teacher didn't come, and the midterms are due, and there's a particular student that cannot graduate. They need this grade to do something else. There's a college application waiting. There's a grant that's waiting. There's a scholarship. There's other things that's waiting because this one teacher is committed to all of her, let's just say 20 students, right? But that teacher has a right to call in, right? She has sick days. If she want to call in, she don't have to come. She don't have to come at all. She don't have to give a notice that really she's on a vacation that they didn't approve her time for, and she already knew ahead of time she was never coming on that date. She can't get fired for it. What difference does it make if she didn't come? Her job is fine. She never calls out. This is the one vacation she wanted to go on because somebody was getting married and the school wouldn't approve it. So she said, oh, well, I'm just going to call in on that date because I already know that these dates are blocked out. It's okay, right? The attendance policy says you can call in. Another teacher will figure it out. Other teachers have degrees, right? There's other teachers there that are really good, right? It's no big deal. Except for your integrity. Your integrity and how you prioritize that, right? So let's just say, because we hood and we smart. So let's just say, right? I did know I was going to call out because that is a wedding. It is important. I'm going, but I know I can't get this day off, right? Let me tell you some things Asia does. I'm a cold piece. Let me tell you some stuff that I do because I keep it real, right? What I would do is, yes, I will be talking to the students like I was going to be there because I'm not blowing my cover because on this day, I'm going to have to be sick. I can't be in no pictures. I can't do a whole bunch of stuff because for whatever reason, sidebar, people be on teachers' heads. I've seen studies of teachers getting fired for having a drink on their vacation while their students is drinking in the classroom. But I digress. This is what I would do. It's always good, and this is why you do want to have people that you work with that you can trust, right? I'm a cold piece, so I would have, in this example that I gave, and I actually like that example. It's pretty dope. I'm telling you. Brain is a terrible thing to waste. Use yours. I would have a contingency plan. So I would be the one in the meeting. This is why people think I'm smart. You guys, you know what? This is what we should do. And I would leverage the pandemic we just came out of. We just came out of a pandemic. So I think we should all work together. So just in case something happens, you know, because you never know. This is my favorite thing I use, which like really could happen. What if there's an accident and somebody, you know, literally can't come in? We can't let our students down. We need to be prepared. So let's have a contingency plan, y'all. Let's all work together so that if something happens, you could jump in and take care of my class and I could jump in and take care of your class. Okay? Let's partner up. That's what I would do, right? Because you care about people. Everything that you do impacts somebody else in some way. It's just the reality, right? So that's something that I would do. And then, you know, now we have our like buddy system or whatever. So I would have my person that I would start telling, oh, you know what? I have a folder right here with just in case something happens, just in case. I'm packing my bag while I'm telling this story. I'm going to this wedding, okay? I'm going. I would have, you know, a little folder that said, oh, you know, I told Marie I was going to do this for her, just in case something happens. Make sure you, by 12 o'clock, get this over to the grant board for this scholarship for this person. I would do those things because I already know what I'm about to do. That's not even an emergency. So yes, you still should have contingency plans in place, which, by the way, I hope that you got that nugget that I dropped. Always have a backup plan, and don't be waiting to the last minute. A lot of things happen because people legit wait to the last minute, giving themselves far too much credit or not properly analyzing the situation. And you think, oh, I have time, or oh, it's just this essay that I need to write. It's just this presentation that I need to do. Do I procrastinate? I do now. I do now a little bit because I have so many things, you know, on my plate, and I haven't managed in a pandemic environment to juggle them to the point where if a emergency or something happens that knocks my whole program out of place, like it did with this particular event, from somebody not communicating. It was the week before last, and it led into all of next week, all of last week that we are just leaving out of. But no, I don't have contingency plans in place for things like that. And it's because my resources are limited. I'm really doing 90% of the work for my nonprofit. For this YouTube channel, I don't have anybody helping me. For my other YouTube channel and my other grant, I don't have anybody helping me. So it is difficult, right? So to eliminate the opportunity to fail, or feel like a failure also, hold on. Okay, we was briefly interrupted. Sorry about that. You won't even believe that somebody was calling me about missing work. I promise I can't make this stuff up. And it was about the same thing. Somebody that called out and left all their work on somebody else. That's not okay. So anyway, I'm not even sure what part I was at, so that kind of sucks. However, I can move forward with oh hell, what was it about? Oh, it was about being able to set things up for if you are going to miss work, because you actually can, but it's about how you do it and that you consider others, because what you do does impact other people, right? So that's what we were talking about. And ironic that I get a call saying that that's exactly what just happened to somebody who is actually a manager. Oh, it's Hilda. You guys know Hilda. So that happened to her. And so now she is behind on things that she needs to do in her own home because they left her short-staffed. So she wasn't able to get home to do things that she needs to do for her daughter because it's Easter. It's Easter for everybody, right? Okay, so when you are doing these type of things, again, make sure that you are thinking about other people, because it's a domino effect, and the impact can be financial. The impact could be time, which is way more important than finances and way more impactful as well. It's just not a good feeling, and you wouldn't want anybody doing it to you, right? As you move through life and the decisions that you make, one of the things that I want people to really start getting, because I don't know where we got to this place of everybody thinking that life revolves around them and only them, and you know, whatever hurts them is a 10. It's just so bad. But when you do it to somebody else, it's like, well, no big deal. It's no big deal until it happens to you. Don't do things like that, because what you're essentially doing is causing people unfortunately, to not even want to deal with you, right? You are going to need people in your corner, and part of needing people in your corner is what you do for them when they're in your corner. Now, in the example of the teacher who was going to miss work anyway because she had, something to do in her personal life, and so she was going to be calling out, the proper way to do it is to ensure that you take care of the people and the obligations that you have as best as you can in your absence. You already know that absence is going to be there. You already know that this particular event is going to occur. Now, everybody else doesn't know that it's going to occur at that time, but let me also just tell you this. It's nothing that you can do that hasn't been done already, right? So even if, you try to play the innocent, oh, I didn't know role, if you're somebody like me that is both street smart and book smart, the street smarts takes precedence over the book smart. I honestly believe, and I will say this 1,000,000 times, that the reason why I was able to get my master's and so easily is because I was already in the field, and that was a requirement for the master's that I got in management, is that you already had to have experience. But a lot of my experience came from the way that I was raised, not growing up with money. My mother's finances was pretty paycheck to paycheck. When she saved, it was something that we actually, would be needing, like a washer and dryer, things like that. But it caused me to activate my own boss skills and my own, how can I do this for myself? But in doing so, again, that included other people. And this whole finesse culture that we have going on, you can't finesse a finesser. So even if somebody has integrity and you don't see them doing those things, you don't think that I have that in me? I was raised around it. Of course I have it in me. How I choose to use it is different. I choose to use it to ensure that I don't impact somebody else's life like that. If I have something that I know that I'm going to not be present for, or not be able to show up for, or something like that, I make alternate plans. I plan to have somebody else step in. I leave a blueprint for others to be able to step in my absence. I don't leave things to chance. I don't leave things for it to just impact somebody else, because I only care what my initial goal is, and that's to get what I want or do what I want. I ensure that I take care of the people and the resources around me, and I respect them, because it is extremely disrespectful, and it could be a great impact to somebody's life, right? One of the students that was in the example that I gave was not going to be able to go to prom if she didn't pass that midterm. One needed it for a particular scholarship, right? So is what you need to do important? That wedding? Yes, that's a once in a lifetime, right? In the example that I gave. However, what needed to be done to get there was just some planning. Just some planning, some out of the box thinking, because, you're being a little sneaky salmon. You're going to take the time off, but you're going to call in sick, those type of things. And you already know you're going to do it. So put things in place so that in your absence, nobody has to hurt or miss, or, you take away from something that somebody else needs. I will personally tell you that is the worst to me. And that's just because I care a lot about people and what I do that can impact their lives. So if there's something that I can do to ensure that whatever it is that I need won't take away from what somebody else needs, I'm going to do that, because I don't just care about me, right? I'm not going to have somebody drive somewhere, go somewhere, spend some money that they don't have to spend. Block off their calendar, knowing that I don't intend to be there, or I'm not taking it as seriously as I should to be there. Although it's what I'm requesting, right? You don't do that to people, because what's going to happen is people are going to stop dealing with you. People are going to stop going above and beyond for you. And ultimately, the universe is going to stop dealing with you in such a manner, in that you'll start to find that things don't keep working out in your favor. Well, it's because you're burning your bridges. A saying that, you know, I was told once, 8th grade, you know, you tore your drawers, right? And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe, you know, yes, I did what I wanted to do, but I didn't know that it was going to, you know, hurt this adult that much, or make this adult that upset that I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And honey, that was the first and last time that I had to hear something like that, because it mattered. That let me see that, dang, yes, I essentially wanted to be in this place instead of this place, but I could have done it better. I could have handled it better. I definitely would not have wanted to not have the opportunity to be invited to do certain things that I wanted to do, because now people don't want to deal with me because I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And you can't play victim all the time. Like I said, there's some things that you're doing that you knew you were going to do it to begin with. So what did you do to ensure that the impact to somebody else or to the other people would be light, right? What did you do to make sure that that impact would be as light as possible? And sometimes you just can't do only what you want to do. There are some adults that don't get that, and I really don't understand. They really feel like life revolves around them, and if it's something that they want, it's a big deal. But if the same thing were to happen to them, they're crying, whining, and complaining about it. Hell, we're still hearing about what some people went through as kids and the impact that it had on their lives, because for whatever reason, they can't now see as an adult that that adult that may have dropped the ball is learning just like we are. Grown-ups learn a lesson every single day. You will learn a lesson every single day. You may make a mistake, big or small, every single day. But what will show in your character is how you communicate. That's why prioritization and communication go together, right? I might prioritize this list that's given to me, and that maybe my board has a completely different way. They may see it as, well, if I can make it to this, then it's okay. Where I see it as, I took my time to make this. This is a part of the program, and you will be there for these particular things. So what I have done is communicated as such, right? These are the things that are necessary and a part of this program, so you must be there for these things. And then these are the things, if you are able to make it, we would love to have you, right? Generally, those things are like the fun things that we do, and the outings that we do, and things like that. But there's certain things that are a priority. And even as an adult, you don't think that we would love to, as an adult, get our paycheck and go buy whatever we wanted? Heck, we still have lists from when we was growing up. They were like, oh, I still want, hold on. A day in the life of, I swear I can't make this stuff up. There's another call. So hopefully, what I'm saying next makes sense. This is going to be a good one. Look at the devil. He don't want me to get y'all this message. Is that it? Because the people that's calling is important, so I have to pick up the call. If I don't pick up the call, they crazy. They gon', yeah, they absolutely demand my time, the people who I just answered the phone for. But Anywho, communication, prioritization, how you handle things, all of those things are really important. Is your life just about you? I'll ask you this. Is it anything you can do all by yourself? Is it? Because, you know, it's people that say, got this by myself, didn't nobody help me, and you insulting the very person that absolutely helped you. They might have stayed up, you know, or took the time to answer the 82 million questions that you had, that you could have easily gotten it out of a book, but you didn't do that. You called this person to have that interactive, that personal touch from an expert, that you can ask the questions that you had, like on demand. Those type of things are really important, and really valuable. I won't even say important. It's important to you and what you need, but the value of being able to pick up the phone and call somebody that has that expertise is really, really important. The value of showing up for people like you're supposed to is really important. There is nothing that you can do all by yourself. Now, it may not include the people that you wanted it to, so I do get that. And I think I'll end with that part, because we are entitled to have our feelings, and our feelings are real, right? So when somebody doesn't show up that you really, you know, want them to, you expect them to, there are certain people that should. I'll just say that. And it is owed to you, right? I have a prioritization of who, you know, should support me, right? So when I am looking for certain things, as an example, I can use it for my adult space, right? I no longer look for my mom necessarily to show up in certain spaces, kind of a little bit. I'm married now, so I look for my husband to be there. I look for my husband to support me. The people that were in our wedding, when we need counsel, when we need support, I look to those people, because that's what your wedding party actually is. Stick a pin right there in case you didn't know. The people that you're asking to be in your wedding, it's not just because they're cute and they can afford it, or, you know, you've known them the longest. Those are the people that are part of your marriage village, right? So when you have things that you need to work through, or you need support in that space, because again, you don't do anything by yourself. Those are the people that are supposed to show up for you and your spouse and be that counsel, that support, holding the marriage together, and praying for you, all of those type of things, right? So sometimes I do get what people are saying. Thought about it the other day. What somebody is saying when they say nobody supports me is that the people that should are not, because you're still looking for things from particular people, right? You want these people to make you a priority, or whatever their role in that space is. You want them to make it a priority. When other people do, it feels good. Don't get me wrong, but it's a different type of amazing feeling. I have people that prioritize me in their life as if I'm their own child, as if they are my spouse, as if they are my parent, as if they are my sibling. And it feels good. But when you're looking according to who prioritized you, I'm sorry, you're looking for that particular person. So even as a kid, I will say that I get why some of you say, I did it by myself, I got it by myself, because that everyday person that should have been there and should have been in your corner, they are not there. And so essentially it does cause you to feel like you are by yourself. I will tell you that as you're prioritizing things and sticking to your word and being of honor and being all of these things, one is not more important than the other, right? So my household is who I expect to be there for me first. My husband is who I expect to be there for me first, right under God, because that's the umbrella of divine order, right? But if a cousin is there, if a best friend is there or something like that, they now hold a value in your life that makes you prioritize them as well. They now hold you a part of your life that ensures that you communicate with them if you're going to do something that is going to impact them as well, right? How we prioritize things is so important. How we communicate things is so important. How we appreciate who prioritizes us and the things that we need is so important. It really is. Nobody has to, the reality is nobody has to show up for you. Nobody has to necessarily make you a priority. That is a blessing. There is somebody out there. I've had one employee, I think, that, hold on. Take your vitamins, kids. And my allergies are shipping today. Zyrtec works really well. Anyway, appreciate those things, right? Because if I took a look at my calendar and just moved things for things that were more fun, somebody else took priority over whomever is asking me to already have something on my calendar, that now rolls into integrity, right? And you don't want somebody to do you like that, because I would clear up my whole calendar if Usher called me right now, right? But I'm pretty sure people would let me do that one. So let me see. If somebody called me to have seafood, right? Y'all know that's a priority to me. Don't judge. There are things that I would want to do, but you cannot do them. You literally have to stick to what you have committed to, because that is your word. Your word is your bond. That is what you're putting in the universe to then receive back to yourself, right? So if you are going to commit to something, then it becomes a priority. You know, you put it on your calendar, it becomes a priority. If other things need to be done, you make them work around. If you want to throw them in there as well, you make it work around, right? My aunts, I got married on my aunt's 90th birthday. So if my anniversary was this week, what else was this week? She turned 95. We have been allowed as a family to go and see her. I still had this prom on my calendar though, right? So I'm going to swing over there, do what I should do as a business, and then I'm headed right to see my aunt because they're able to go and see her today. That is a priority. Now, to be quite honest, if something would have happened and I only could see my aunt today at the same time as we needed to be there for the prom stuff, I have a board of directors, and I would have reached out to them and been honest and said, I cannot make it. Y'all know I haven't seen my aunt in forever because of this pandemic that's going on, because we still heavily implement those safety protocols into the business and my family. I would call in someone to help, but I would not leave this young girl who is getting ready to go to her prom hanging in the 11th hour. My organization is now a part of her village, so I have to show up, right? But how I show up is I could have somebody go in. There are other ways to do things, and you'll learn that as you grow and as you experience different things. You'll learn what that looks like. You'll learn how important it is and how to maneuver certain aspects of your life. But what I can really tell you is that life is not going to get easier. It's going to get more complicated as you adult and have kids and have a career and maybe want to do a business, and now you have your family and you have all of these things that are tugging at you. The very most important thing that will become a part of your life is the prioritization, and then also communicating, right? That will become what is most important in your life. That is why people trust in me with the things that they need, and they know, oh, I know Asia's going to show up Yeah, I am. I'm going to show up exactly how I need to. I'm going to show up right on time. I'm going to show up in good spirits. I'm going to show up ready. And if I cannot, be it for my back, because remember I also have health issues with my back. If it's for my back, because I show up for everything else and I do not use my back as an excuse to not do something, they trust in me and they believe in me. So the same way that I show up for them, they will show up for me and trust my word because I communicate. I communicate very well. I communicate, especially those things that don't feel good. I probably communicate those the most because those are probably really important, which is why it doesn't feel good to deliver, but I have to deliver sometimes. But that is it for today. I hope that the teacher example that I gave really resonated with you, because in the career world, in the world of networking, showing up for your friends different now. You guys are not at school 5 days a week together, so it's easy to be committed to them because you're with them every day. It's a little more difficult when you have to actually go out of your way and make yourself available or stick to something or remember something. That is when the true challenge starts, right? Just like I tell you guys, the true I love you, your I love you is tested by how you actually show up when you have to show that you love someone, be it through forgiveness or commitment or whatever it is. These things, I just want you to know, they are not always easy decisions. They're not always things you see right in front of you. Apologies. Whew. I've apologized quite a few times. But make sure that it's something that you are working on in your everyday life so that it comes second nature. You have good best practices and behaviors in place so that when something does happen, and somebody ends up at an appointment because you didn't communicate, or not ready because you never told them, or anything like that, they take what has occurred, they take it differently because your normal behavior is to do this. So if this person is doing this, it's like, oh no, something must have happened. And that is what they say about me. Oh, something must have happened if Asia's not here. Something must have happened if she didn't show up. And people check on you too because they like, something is going on. But those are good things to have in your adult pocketbook of qualities to have and of behaviors to have. I really wanted to talk about this particular thing because one, the girls in my nonprofit, they have to listen to my recordings, and so she will be able to hear the full scope of what happened as a result of what we dealt with this week, and my board as well. This channel makes it a little bit easier to soften the blow when we learn different things, because be it from me or even, from them, we all learn and continue to evolve. I won't say grow because I'm so tired of hearing about people learning and growing that ain't doing shit. But we evolve. We do it without placing blame. We do it with how can we all learn from this, because it could have just as easily, been a miscommunication or a bad decision on any of our parts. So how do we all learn from the space of really wanting to evolve and perfect certain parts of our lives and think about things differently? So that is it from me. I am going to cut this mistake real quick, throw this shirt on and get my tail out of here and go see Olafeme. Olafeme off to her prom and really get the full glimpse of this gown that Kasana has made. Once again, she has done it. So hopefully you stuck through the whole thing, because that's y'all problem. Y'all don't be listening to. Y'all don't. I'm giving all this knowledge that I had to learn by running into walls and shit, and I'm trying to help y'all. Prioritize me. Okay, so that is it. I am literally running out of here, as I always do. So, let's see. And that's my helmet sweatshirt, my helmet hoodie. Goodbye, butterflies, goodbye. Goodbye, butterflies, goodbye. Goodbye. Oh, and I'll link below where I got my teeth whitened. So if you're in the area, I got a teeth whitening. And I got a mini job, and look at them. Below. Bye. Oh.